lit. Then so a lot of people ask me like how I get into all these different styles of music. And I say first of all, I was born in Berlin, Germany. I don't lived in Miami, Pensacola, Texas, Orlando, everywhere. So I always got accustomed to just moving around a lot and like learning something new. And, huh?
Don't do this.
Oh, I shook the table.
And it's shaking the camera.
Damn.
So go ahead, start over.
All right, say less. All right, so a lot of people ask me like, how do you get into all these different vibes and different types of styles of music and all that? And I say, first of all, like I moved around a lot. I was born in Berlin, Germany. I lived in Miami, Orlando, Pensacola, Fort Worth, Texas. I just been around, so I always got accustomed to like listen to different style of music and culture and people. I always had to adapt, so I just kind of incorporated to my production style. Or you could cut that.
No, or you want it to be.
Yeah, I don't even figure out what I'm gonna say next. I probably could start shouting out some projects and shit I worked on. That's probably like another important one. Like my music journey.
All right, so you say you've been around and you lived here, Pensacola, Germany.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This and that, et cetera, et cetera. So you say that's what brings so much variety to your beats and stuff.
Yeah, cause I always had to like adapt to the people that in the culture that was there at that particular place. I never got to like say like I say I'm from Miami, right? But at the same time, I never lived here all my life. So elementary school, middle school, I might have been here for like a year and then gone. So I never really got to like get into the dances, you know what I'm saying, or even like adapt and learn like a lingo. It was like as soon as I learned one, I had to go somewhere else and learn another one. You know what I'm saying, how people talk. So it's definitely expanded my mind, and I never got attached to learning like and doing things one way. So that's where I feel like all the different production styles come from.
Okay, that was just about to lead into my next question. I was gonna ask do you feel like that was that helpful that you wasn't here that long and you didn't get the culture and you have such a variety, or you feel like that kind of set you back a little bit being that you based in Miami?
I say it set me back in the sense of when there's a particular genre to do, like, yeah, it gets hard to like execute it because there's a particular cadence and way to do things. But the advantage is I've stuck into making more crossover records, so I'll mix different cultures and stuff like that. I'll mix different genres. So I've more or less stuck in that lane and everything benefited and worked out from there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it could be a disadvantage if you're trying to do a specific thing, but the diversity, which you know what I'm saying, the world's diversity, you know what I'm saying, but region is one thing, but how I like to make music, I'm thinking worldwide. So it's more or less been helpful and a benefit than anything.
Have that ever been a problem with any of your artists that you work with? Like they say they want this and that, but you know different things, and you pitch it to them. Like, is that helpful? Like with your, I wouldn't say creation, but with what your artists want and what you know that they don't know.
You know what the crazy part is? Most of the artists already know what they're getting into before they even, you know what I'm saying, ask me like a question like that. So like they literally wouldn't ask a question like that because they already see like my music's like on a different plane, if that makes sense. They already know it's different. So they embrace it and that's what they want. At the end of the day, like they don't come to me for a specific style. They would have been grabbed the YouTube, you feel me? So that hasn't really been a problem. But I will say for most people that send me a pack, that probably would be a problem because they thinking like I understand a certain wave that they on, but sometimes you know what I'm saying, they be wanting something completely different from what they already have. So for the most part, answer your question, no, it has not been an issue because that's what they come to me for. They want something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say your objective or I should say, like, what was your mission statement be, like, if someone were to do like a biography on you or something?
Dang.
Like, what's your purpose in this?
Purpose, bro, is really impact on people, and something that I'm out to prove is like I could build an artist, you know what I'm saying, they could be charted. And I could build artists from the ground up that, you know, I just learned it, and they see, you know, they making hits. So I say I feel like I made hits, but you know, that's in due time for, you know what I'm saying, for them to, you know, be on Billboard and all that happen. But artist development is definitely one of my favorite things. Like, I like being able to coach, teach, motivate. So that's my style. That's always been a thing of mine. Like, I'd rather work with artists one-on-one than just be sending music out and hoping they do something good with it. Like, I feel like I got intention, and I try to make scores to that person's lifestyle. So that's more or less like my style and my preference and what I do.
Oh, okay. You kind of answered my next question I was going to ask, but
People be like, stay out my head. Like,
yeah.
that's why people like working with me, bro. Cause they be like, dang, brother, you already ahead of me. Like, that's what I be doing.
Exactly.
I be good at it. It's
And you even going into more detail, but I was going to say, what separates you from most producers, engineers, and, you know, things of that nature? Like, what makes you different and unique? Like, why would somebody want to work with you than this guy, even though this guy might be more this and that? You know how it goes.
Yeah. I feel like what's crazy is the music I make fits a certain lifestyle that I don't live, and that's cool. 'Cause I'm a producer. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke. I'm not like a big drinker like that. But the music I make, you know, fits that person that may like to do that, want to do that. And the cool thing is I'm open-minded. I don't judge, so people can be comfortable with being themselves around me, like 1,000%. And they understand that, so it allows them to like be around people that don't do what they do, but they can still act it out or do whatever it is, and I'm completely cool with it. I don't, like I said, judge. So I think that's like a big advantage as a producer. And I think the other case is it's the vision. You know what I'm saying? The vision for what they're trying to accomplish. They may describe certain things or say certain terminology that is not accurate, but I'll figure it out. So that's one of like the benefits I feel like people like love working with me. That's a difference between someone else. Like, I'm able to figure out their emotions and put it on the song. You know what I'm saying? Or bring it out after they recorded it. So that's one thing I think people say, like, yeah, he'll go for that.
Yeah, so once again, you answered another question I was about to bring up. So
chill, you probably making that shit up at this point. Let's see what you got. Hold up.
All right, so this is what I was about to say. Cause you know, I seen you work. I've been in the studio with you and whatnot. So, and what I was gonna ask was, you know, how could I say this? You know, you're not just like an engineer or a producer. Like, you're also throwing vocal advice, pitches. Hey, do this like that and do this like that. And most engineers they'll let their artists do something. I mean, hey, all right, that's how you want to do it, then go ahead. So, what inspires you, like, to take it that extra step, like to go that extra mile for the artist? Like, is it?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, do you feel like that's something that you need to do to help them out, like to help your beat?
I say this, like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to win, bro. Like, so whether I, you know, figure out the cadence or melody or the topic or what the artists do, like, long as the product at the end of the day come out the way it's supposed to, that's all that matters. I think what happens is I got vision, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times if an artist gets stuck or if they're not sure, I'll, you know what I'm saying, I'll pick up, you know what I'm saying, and carry some of the weight. So that's really like my purpose. Like, I'd rather let the artist, like I said, be them and do what they want to do, and wherever I can fill in the gaps, you know what I'm saying, and help them out. Like, that's what I'm here to do. So I'm just making sure like the product come out the way it's supposed to. And you know, like, I be low-key wanting to be an artist myself, but if I can put as much as influence as I can on a record, like, I'll do it. But at the same time, I know how to back off and let the artist do them.
Yeah, and I was going to say that too. Most of the time, they never like disagree with you. They always, take
Hey,
heed.
I don't like steer people wrong, man. Like, you know what it is to sit there and keep telling somebody some advice and then they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that person got to be like, bro, I can't be around this nigga, bro. Like, I can't even think. So, it never benefits to aggravate, you know what I'm saying, whoever you're working with. So, always find that window, to say something, or if the artist trusts me, they trust me. You know what I'm saying? So, that has to be built and earned. And if it works, then, you know what I'm saying, artists ain't going to argue what's working. So, they trying to be, they trying to be lit. So, that's the whole goal, I think. They want to be the best they can.
Alright. I don't know, bro.
I know I wanted to bring up, like, there was I think a part of the story where people don't know, like, I wasn't creating music for a while. It was from, like, cause people like, dang, how long you been producing? I'd be like, man, since what, 05, but from like, I say 2013 to like 2018, I wasn't making much music at all. Like, between that time, I might have made 50 beats. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, what the hell? Like, it was a huge jump and turnaround when I moved back to Miami, and I like pretty much, let's say, did it full time from 2018 to like right now. You know what I'm saying? Current present, 2023. You know what I'm saying? I worked on like 7 projects since that point. And I feel like that, and I pretty much produced, you know what I'm saying, 90% of it. You know what I'm saying? Or not 99. You know what I'm saying? Of those songs. And I feel like that's gave me a huge jump and level up my career. To like, now I'm blessed to, you know what I'm saying, be a part of the OG.
Hold on, man. Let me ask the question first this
bro.
time. Hold on.
Man, hold on. We finish this.
Let me, cause you all
JT
like you
Money.
read in my mind, man.
JT Money, man.
You
Like,
read in my mind. Go
JT
ahead. Go
Money,
ahead.
man. Like, this all the hard work and grind I'm putting in led me to JT Money, man. And JT Money has like put his full trust in like recording him. You know, input is the vocals, right? You know what I'm saying? And even coming down to the mixes and stuff like that. So coming from not creating as much, not recording people, I didn't even know how to engineer, use Pro Tools, none of that. But I picked it up around the pandemic, and I leveled up that quick to where, you know what I'm saying, we got pros out there that got trust and faith in me. So, but yeah, what else you got from me? 'Cause I know there's a whole nother like questions and stories to ask in between there.
All right, so
Real.
so I would say from now, okay, I wouldn't say from now, but from back then when you first started,
But
and
producing,
now, yeah, from when you first started producing and getting into the music and things of that nature. What would you say was your biggest lesson? The most valuable thing that you
That's
learned or like pick up from back in 2005
yeah.
to now?
Okay, yeah, it seemed like a tough question when you first asked, but no, I feel like this one now is easy. It's easy. So, what I say in the beginning was I wasn't trying to learn every doggone thing that it takes to get from point A to Z. Like, I think I did a lot getting from point A to B to C. Like, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep working and you put in the 10,000 hours. But I think the A to Z, that's a whole nother mentality and process. And what I mean by A to Z is like, hey, I see myself, just learning to start. I'm aspiring to, like, I made it. And I felt like in the beginning, I wasn't taking the steps to get to the point where I can say I made it. I wasn't thinking, I wasn't learning about the business side. I wasn't studying what the game was, the technology. I wasn't looking at music from that perspective. I was just, trying to be cook up. I was just trying to cook up, and I just wanted to be lit. Like, I just wanted to be this is fire producer. And it's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? There's politics in the game. Like, I wasn't looking at none of that. Networking. I was shy. I wouldn't be in front of a camera, 5 years ago. Like, no way you could catch me in front of a camera. So Like right now, it's like I'm looking at doing all the little things that it takes to be great versus just trying to do something just because it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like I'm good at it. Like that's not enough. So I hope that clarifies that question. Like this is a lot
cool,
more to
cool.
being
But
successful. Yeah.
I heard you mention something about 10,000 hours. You want to go more into detail with that?
10,000 hours ain't enough.
But
That's what I can tell you, bro.
yeah, but
10,000
10,000 hours of what, and why that specific number?
Why that specific number? Honestly, 10,000 hours is a cliche thing that we all are taught and learn. But I think the 10,000 hours is important because you need to build the habit. Like the habit and workflow. Like when you get in the pro level, like an artist may want a fire beat, you know what I'm saying? Probably done in 30 minutes to an hour. At least enough to lay down, you know what I'm saying? Or at least enough laid down to where they can do a song off of it. So I say in '05, that time, I never been in the studio with an artist, let's say a professional studio with the artist and cook up on the spot. I definitely was too shy to cook up in front of somebody. It was a very like private thing when I did it. Versus now it's like I'm prepared to do all of that and I'm ready. So 10,000 hours is to be able to do that. But that's just like I told you, that's from that A, B to C to D to E, like you know what I'm saying? But to Z is like, bro, like you gotta do 1,000,000 hours. That's how I'm gonna say. Like it's the hours is endless. You know what I'm saying? You always gotta keep working. You can't stop. And I think that's like why the 10,000 hours cool, but nah, you can't stop when you do this. And I feel like what slowed me down a lot from, you know, where I could have done this years ago is because I stopped. So that's how I feel about it.
So in other words, the referring to the 10,000 hour phrase is you don't stop at 10,000 hours.
Definitely don't stop at 10,000 hours.
Okay.
If you stop, you quit. It's over with. The next person that was right behind you just left you, and you know, wait, he's gonna do 10 and think that's enough. That's a joke. That's a joke, fool.
Alright. So you know, I'm a creator. You could call me an artist myself. So
Of course, we did songs together, fool. Come on.
yeah. So when you're producing
Yeah.
and making music, and you could give, you know, multiple examples. What inspires you, like from the moment you hit that first key on the beat? Like what inspires you to do this specific thing, this specific way, at this particular time?
That's good. Everything's cool, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah.
You want water or?
Water's cool.
Yeah, some ice in it.
Good looks. So I ain't gonna lie. Like what inspires me is it could be a single sound. You know what I'm saying? It's sonics. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that sound is, I try to find this purpose for it. An interesting perspective, how I look at music and creating a song is like, you know what I'm saying, creating a human being, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? You build it from the ground up and trying to specifically design something to have a certain purpose. You know what I'm saying? And, like every song got its own like thumbprint. You know what I'm saying? Like it may look the same, but when you really dissect it, it's different. So that's how I try to create music. That's what inspires me, man. Like one sound could take me to a whole other place. You know what I'm saying? Versus just trying to make something just to make it. Like, no, I look for a purpose and intention behind everything I make. So that's how I look at it.
Alright, cool.
Went too deep with the thumbprint, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's for real. That's how I look at it, bro. Like everything got its own DNA, bro. Like ain't no song the same outlook and no situation the same. Like whatever inspires me is what's supposed to happen at that moment, bro. Like I don't be locking myself in or doing something a certain way.
Okay, so this I could almost say that it kind of runs in with the last question I asked, but
All right.
okay, you made a beat, you made a song.
Yup.
What makes, and I mean in any song, everything got its own special
Yeah.
thing to it, special meaning, but what makes like a certain beat, particular sound or whatever, like what makes it valuable? Like,
That's a good ass question. What makes it valuable?
okay, let's put it
The
like
people,
this.
man. The people tell you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could make all kind of sounds and rhythms, but the value comes in like what people gain from it. I don't. Man, a lot of people teach me like tell me like yo like the music you make, it sound like you're making it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I sometimes I feel that because they're like, dang, where'd you get this idea from? Like you made it for you to jam to. You ain't make it for me. You know what I'm saying? So the value comes in what people see it. Otherwise, it's just a song, a sound sitting on your phone, on your laptop.
Okay. So regardless if you made a beat, you like, damn, this beat trash. Does your thoughts have more value over somebody that think that a beat that you thought was trash and they think that is good? You would value their word over yours?
That's very scenario based. But I'll say this for me specifically. If I feel like a beat's trash, ain't nobody hearing it. But if they somehow heard it and they see the good in it and what can be brought out of it, and get me to
That.
understand why, then that's what it is.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it won't even make it out. It won't even
It
make it
definitely
out.
ain't making it out. But if it's somehow somebody can make sense to me on why it's a hit, show me. You feel me? Like, put a
Okay.
bag behind it then. Put your money where your mouth is. You know what I'm saying? No, that's so hard. That's on. They're like, all right, put it on your platform, post it, show people. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be telling me something. Tell me, oh, that's all, that joint lit. That joint lit. Like, nah, show me.
All right, man. I don't know. You got anything else you wanna discuss? Like you feel like the people need to know?
And more lit music on the way. Working my dog Core, Locker Room 2 on the way. Many more to come. Check out my own YouTube channel, Will Notes. Many content on the way. Doing like cook-ups on the spot. Artists freestyling to it on the spot type stuff. So stay tuned. It's gonna be lit. We out.
I
Done.
was about to say something.
I mean, you can add in whatever. Go ahead. Maybe you probably want to start this shit. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
a long ass video. What?
All right. So you mentioned the artist Chord,
CXRD.
and you know, like you guys been putting a lot of hard work in, a lot of hours, a lot of days,
Sure.
long nights, sleepless nights, early mornings.
Facts.
So with a guy like this and indie artists, what make you want to put in your time and effort into a guy? And we could specifically talk about like Chord. What makes you have
Right.
so much faith and
Right.
you know like that makes you want to work with him? Like
Right.
what's so special
wanna-
about this guy?
Yeah. I guess I want to kind of turn that into a two-part question because
Okay.
I want to generalize one like what inspires me to work with an artist is like when there's magic there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't never want to force music. And if it's something where like I'm working with an artist and I'm learning from it and I'm getting better and I'm seeing progression, then that's where I want to go. If I'm seeing where the music's a lot better, or if opportunities are popping up, that's where I want to go. What makes Chord unique, man, is honestly like I'm allowed to be myself. You know what I'm saying? And he's able to like be himself as well, and the records pop. Yeah, I could go from the trap vibe to a pop music to some EDM sounds, and it fits. Like it meshes well. I feel like what I am as a producer, he is as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like my mentality and my approach to music is exactly the same. So the work relationship's dope. You know what I'm saying? We homies. You know what I'm saying? We chop it up every day. So that's a big factor as well. But no, man, like just the ability to relate, man. And things just gotta work. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta. Good things just gotta keep coming from it. I feel like that's what, you know what I'm saying, allows me to work. You know what I'm saying? And lock in with an artist like that. It's seeing dubs, man. You know what I'm saying? What else questions you got for me? Cause that was a tough question you asked, cause people get offended. You know what I'm saying? Cause those are situations where people get cut off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like unfortunate to have to. You know, you work with people. I guess I want to kind of expound on that too. Like, that was a new thing I learned with like working and locking with people, because that's how I started. Really, with Silver LaQ, like he was really like the only artist I worked with, and we just was locked in. And I didn't really work with nobody else. And until like that ended, you know, which is on good terms. You know, what I'm saying, that's my dog. It's a homie forever. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, what's the next artist I could build with? So finding that balance and building with artists is a challenge. And managing people is hard. So however things work out, you know, with people and with artists, that's how it work out. But I just, like I said, I look for the magic, man. Like when the magic's there and it's continuous, you know, things make sense for me. That's what makes me do it, honestly.
Alright, so I'm not sure if you maybe answered this question already, but we could close it out with this.
Alright.
Alright, so what can an artist or anybody expect from you as an engineer, producer? Like, what can they expect working with you?
I don't even want to think too deep in this question. I feel like what they expect is something good gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like no matter how long it take us to make whatever we need to make or how fast, like something amazing gonna pop, and we gonna enjoy the session, and they gonna go home happy. Like I think anybody, you know what I'm saying, can't ask for nothing more. You know, you can't guarantee people stuff. You can't guarantee, oh, we making hits and that. No, we just here to vibe, have fun, and make something that we gonna appreciate later. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, with, you know, our hard work that we put into it, like people gonna appreciate it. So that's what I think is the expectations. Like making something for the long term, not just for, you know, the right now bubble gum. Like, people don't care no more. That's what I'm doing.
Alright, y'all, so we're gonna wrap up this first section. And I just came up with this off of the top. You know what I'm saying? We're taking notes with Mr. Notes himself. Part 1.
Part 1, more to come. Yeah, Will Notes, WILL space Notes. Tag, hit the notes, don't forget it. Peace. Alright. Cut. Studio.